Hello everybody, this is Grumpy Dave's Garage. Got the camera set up to show you exactly what I'm doing here. Start over here. Real gentle with these. Gonna get the plugs out. It's the Sunday morning wacky racers getting started up with their on-cap motorcycles, I should say. Here, where's that? My grandson came up to help me and broke a plug a couple weeks ago. I razzed the heck out of him. He come in and asked what numbers to buy. I said, "No, I got to set on the shelf in there." I said, "You were just fodder from my practical joking." And that is this plug. Just stick it in there so we don't. What I want to do, and I'm going to do, is get the motor mounts torqued in. I'm going to get a torque setting on the torque converter bolts, put the starter up just finger tight, get the lock nut on the transmission mount, and a good measurement on the if I set the camera so you get a good picture of me, you can't see what's going on, and I don't think you came here to watch me talk and not see what I'm doing. Spark plugs will tell you a lot. Gotta watch it. Got some sharp edges right here, right where I'm working. Two, 4, 6, 8, 1, 3, 5, 7. That's the setup on the cylinders. So that's the reason why I do it this way. You don't have to. I really don't have to worry about putting them back in the same holes because they're not staying. They'll be going there to keep the dirt out. That's impressive for the cleanliness of those. Let's come over here and see what we can do over here. Yeah, I'll get a little better view in here. How's that? Okay. I'll get these inside out of the direct sunlight and get a bright light on them. I want to check all the tips. They seem to be doing a super job on burning. For the miles that's on the engine, that is totally impressive to me. So I'll put these back in just finger tight to keep stuff out of the piston holes while the engine's not going to be doing anything. Because as soon as I get done working on the headers starting later this week, we'll get them with gaskets bolted on the engine and torqued down. We'll get the collector cups on them, just finger tight, because I had to alter those and put the O2 sensors in that pipe. I never tightened up the sway bar because the radiator might be slightly different. This one barely fits. So there's no reason to do all that bolting and torquing to have to undo it to get the radiator in and clear the bottom fitting on the radiator. And here comes the last one. Really not sunny enough to worry about that hat right now. It's overcast. Impressive, if I say so myself. Okay. They're all the same. There's no chunks missing out of them. All the electrodes are good. I like to double check because you never know. Now this is where the put a little looby-dooby in all the cylinders. I probably could stick my probe down there and look around if I wanted to. Come on. That one's up top, that's why. And we put the... that doesn't work. I need a short extension. I am not sure I got one. I still got tools over at my son's I took over to work on that Mac that he's now cabbaged onto while he's working on my Bobcat. This will work. Let's get it out there. Do, 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 do. So what I'm doing is rotating the engine. It's been sitting a little bit, well, about a year since I bought it. Because when I'm under the car doing the torque converter bolts, there's a small hole and I gotta stick a tool up in there and walk by the teeth, the flywheel around to put 3 bolts in, and then torque the last one, rotate it around, torque the next one, then torque the final one. So it's kind of like you gotta do it to get it done. We'll wait a few minutes, let that soak in some more, and I'll do it again. It's turning really easy. It's got compression to it. It's not just flopping around. The engine's really, see, it's got decent compression. So that's the game. I got to get a front mount. I'm looking at a couple. I got to call Summit and talk to them. I need a mount to bolt right on here. Howard does it. Puts the alternator right here because of this. I can't bring it up because of the hood. I can't take it down because of the chassis. The frame rails. The chassis rails. They're not frame, it's chassis because it's a unibody. I gotta order this piece. I gotta order the steam pipe fitting to the hose. It's basically the radiator when it's in here. It comes over, turns, and goes right into the radiator. The top of it's curved. The only thing I gotta do is 90 over. Get the steam fitting in here. This will be down at a 45 instead of this, I think it's like 22.5. So it'll come straight out. It'll still be below the intake. The intake is 7 inches tall. Let's get a tape measure and I'll show you that measurement. Hi, Zoomy dogs. Seven. Let me get a level. I need something so you guys can see it. I can. Look at that. Right there. Let's see if we can do this. That's almost to the bottom, the height of the top right here. Of the intake. So if we take the big measurement, from side to side, which is right here. Okay. Huh, that engine. It is so close, questionable if it gets a blister or a small hood scoop. She's 7 inches tall, 7.8. This should say 8 inches. That would be right about there. I'm not sure how much this hood curves until I get one on there. What are you thinking? I'm going to release this from the tripod. I don't like walking around that thing. And then I hit it and the camera jumps against my leg. I'll give it one more squirt of Looby-Doob. Give it one more good spin both directions. And then I'll be able to go down and put torque converter bolts in. I can get these bolts in. I can come over to the other side. Well, you probably actually see it down here better. Put the starter in, just finger tight it. That's the gas tank down there. I just want it out of the way and not vaporing out my garage. All of my guesstimates on my cuts and everything, as you can tell, were right on. Probably never do that again. I got to get some cleaning done in here. I got to touch up the paint. We scratched it up. I got to make a decision next weekend. I got to go out and get the dashboard out of the other car, which is going to be a pain in the ass. Because I want to get the correct cable for the controls and everything, so I can put the heater box in. And the next thing up is the brake stuff, and I'll start at the rear with the brakes. I'll get a center line made, 2 hard lines, put the rubber connection up, and then I'll bring the line up. We're completely revamping the car. Everything came up the passenger side and went everywhere. I'm bringing the path of least resistance. I'm bringing the brake line up on the master cylinder side, and I can go either side with the fuel rail. So with the one of the fuse panels right here, fuse blocks, the waterproof one for all the accessories and stuff, will be right there. So I can run the 5-wire back, run it up here. The engine will have a separate little fuse block, 5 relays, a standalone wiring harness and everything, and then we got to wire all that stuff in the car and bring the harness out on this side of the engine and hook it all up, just like the battery cables and everything. Everything has to be on this side, and then I got to run the cable to the trunk because I'm putting the battery in the trunk. So I got a whole list of things that I'm looking for up here. My 45, is that a 90? That's a 90, up and over, a 90. One of the thermostat, and a new one of these that rotates. I need to swing it straight down because the hose goes down below all this stuff, because the radiator will be right where my hand is right here. So it'll come over and elbow right into the fitting, which will be right about here. Everything's just snapping together. Don't ask me why. Tomorrow, I got to put jack stands under the back to stabilize it, and then I got to raise this front end up, which is scary. If you push on this car, it just takes off and rolls. It's not going to take much to make it go down the road. Next up is going to be later this coming week. We'll be working on some body work and getting the fenders, the wings put back on it, and getting them lined up. I want to start a little body work, give my lower back a rest of lifting all this heavy stuff, and then we'll just gut all the bright work and all the windows out of the car, box it up, and then we'll just start sanding and cleaning as we go back. Need to pull the rear bumper. And that's about what it is on a Sunday. We just prep to get ready to rotate it in and get the torque converter bolts in. Get a few things done this week. Hopefully by this next weekend or next Friday, I'll have the headers on, ground down and torqued. I'll have all the stuff underneath done. Totally impressive. People, like, subscribe, and get your build on. The reason why I'm pushing this a little bit, I want to get the wings on and everything, and the headers drop down, so I can put the rallies on the front with the adapters, and then I can start doing some body work, sitting on my backside on my chair cutting and welding, give myself a little rest. We're all ready to go. It's just that close. I didn't get anything done today because I had to go hunt up parts. Some of them worked, some of them will work for the other part. Now I got to buy more. Like, subscribe, leave a comment,